What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles in the single type cup running Hyper Beam Melmetal. Shout out to Home Size Henry and his Hyper Beam Galarian Wheezing video, as it did inspire me to think of this video idea, and I also got very lucky using just one charge TM, so that's a big plus. The team is pretty straightforward, 2 steel types in the back, an anti-fighter in the lead, not my spiciest team ever, but still 3 fairly uncommon Pokemon in this meta. And with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What's your favourite Pokemon to run in the Go Battle League using the charge move Hyper Beam? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead Sylveon into Gramble, so I'm going to swap into my Perrserker, and we actually bait out an Umbreon. This is a good matchup for us, although if we do go for that close combat, we're going to debuff our defense by 2 stages with each use, so we're going to go for it here after they throw a charge move. Close combat does big damage, we make it to the second close combat before they make it to foul play number 2, and we do grab a shield from the opponent here. Now the opponent goes for a charge move just before I make it to the next close combat, so what I actually want to do here is grab all shields from my opponent. I know they can shield this if they want to and fully snarl farm me down, but I'm absolutely fine with that. I'm going to come in with my Sylveon here. I think I'm just going to fully commit to a full quick attack farm down, and the opponent throws another charge move. I think this was too early to beat Psychic number 2. It is just a foul play, so that does allow me to get the full farm down, come out with so much loaded energy. They come in with a Registeel, they swap back into the Gramble, but we're going to be able to make it to the Hyper Beam easily in time, and this Hyper Beam is going to one-shot the Gramble. We take them out there, they come back in with the Registeel. We can go for a superpower before they make it to a charge move here. This is going to do a ton of damage to the Registeel, and a second charge move will be enough damage to take them out, unless they get the debuff with the Zap Cannon, but they don't, so the opponent's just going to concede the match there, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Shadow Ninetales in the lead. Now this is a pretty difficult Pokemon to deal with. Sylveon has a reasonably neutral matchup, but we can't go for the Moonblast as Moonblast is resisted, so we have to settle for the much weaker Psyshock. The opponent is going to go straight for the Overheat, one-shotting Sylveon, and now I'm in a really bad position. I'm going to go for the close combat straight away, knowing that the Poison Jab damage isn't really going to add up that much, even if I debuff my defense. Going to shield this up, hoping it's not a bait, and it is the Drill Run, so that's fine with me. I can now fully Shadow Claw, farm them down. They come back in with the Ninetales. I'm going to go for a foul play, and then I think I have to swap out of this matchup into the Melmetal, as I was double debuffed. We are going to let this charge move go through. We should just about live it here and make it to a superpower, but they will be able to fully Fire Spin, farm me down, and come out with some energy loaded. But the opponent swaps into Samurott, getting an energy advantage into my Perrserker, but I'm hoping that with the Shadow Claw damage, one close combat will be enough damage to take them out here, but it's going to be very tight. Will this take out the Samurott? No, it doesn't, but we get the Shadow Claw farm down, and can we make it to the close combat in time? Yes, we can, just about before we get Fire Spin farm down, and we're able to take out the Ninetales and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Hypno in the lead, so I've got 2 steel types in the back. Gonna swap into my Melmetal. We bait out a Shadow Hitmonchan. I'm gonna go for the superpower here, no point going for Hyper Beam, as this will grab a shield, and we barely make it to the next superpower in time, and that's massive. This will not take them out after the debuff, but it does a ton of damage, and it puts them into range where I will be able to fully quick attack, farm down this Hitmonchan, although with the Shadow bonus, these elemental punches are actually gonna chunk quite a bit, so I will choose to shield this up just in case they've got a double fighting backline. We shield up the second Ice Punch, and we do get the quick attack farm down. And let's see what the opponent has in the back. They're probably going to come back in with the Hypno. They do, so I swap into Perrserker. The opponent's staying in this matchup. They're at an Elemental Punch, but I let it go through. It's just a Thunder Punch, which is huge for me, as we do comfortably live that. We're now going to go for the Foul Play, and Foul Play doesn't quite take them out there, so I have to use a shield. Thunder Punch probably still wouldn't quite take me out, but I don't know what they've got in the back. It ends up being a Licky Tongue, and we make it to the back-to-back close combats just before we faint. The first one grabs the shield, the second one will do big damage, and it should put them into range where one Moonblast will be enough damage to take out the Licky Tongue. They have a Body Slam loaded, but the Moonblast takes them out there. I can easily quick attack, farm down the Hypno, and take that game. So into the next battle, we see a Muck in the lead. So gonna say swap into my Perrserker. The opponent's staying in initially. We get to the foul play before they get to a charge move, which is great. And this foul play is gonna do some decent damage, not too much. This is a regular Muck, non-shadow. They go for an acid spray for some reason, and then they swap into Mute. Now, unfortunately, because of the double debuff to our defense, even though we're hitting for super effective damage, they are outpacing us for fast move damage, but we make it to a second foul play. This should be grabbing the final shield from the opponent as they fully Shadow Claw farm me down. Now the opponent goes for a flame charge there. It doesn't do too much damage, but it boosts their attack, and they throw straight away. Could have been a wild charge. It's actually another flame charge. I'm going to overfarm just slightly here. I don't know what their second charge move is, so I don't want to take the risk. We take them out with a Side Shock. We come in with the Melmetal, and I don't really want to throw a Superpower or a Hyper Beam here, so I'm going to wait for them to throw their energy and then eventually swap. They swap into Superior, and now I can just go for the Hyper Beam, and this Hyper Beam does huge damage to the Superior. They do make it to a charge move, and we are double debuffed in our defense. So Frenzy Plant nearly takes us out there. So I'm going to farm to nearly 0 health remaining. Going to undercharge this. Superpower doesn't take them out. I get one extra quick attack through, and that does allow me to easily make it to a Side Shock before we get Poison Jabbed farm down. And Side Shock takes out the Muck, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Sylveon into Dragonair, so a great lead for us. The opponent swaps into Slurpuff. Now, I do have 2 steel types in the back, but I have to go for Hyper Beam to take them out. So instead, what I'm going to do is go for the Side Shock and then swap into my Perrserker, and I'm hoping that I should be able to Shadow Claw farm them down before they make it to back-to-back flamethrowers. They get to the first one, and we barely get the farm down there, and we're able to take them out. Although they were running Charm, so I think they weren't actually anywhere near the second charge move there. But we go for a foul play that doesn't do much damage. The opponent does correctly no-shield it, knowing I'm probably not going to go for that close combat straight away. But we go for foul play number 2. We just directly take out the Dragonair there, and they've got a Gramble in the back. And this is going to be absolutely fine with me. We're going to come in with the Melmetal here. I'm not going to bait with a Superpower or anything. Just going to go straight for that Hyper Beam. And are they going to respect the damage here? No, they don't, and we one-shot yet another Gramble with the Hyper Beam to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, another Gramble in the lead. So once again, gonna say swap into my Perrserker. We bait out Vigoroth, which is not ideal. I'm gonna go for a foul play straight away, hoping to grab a shield, and we do grab the shield, which is really nice for me, as if they go for the farm down, we're gonna make it to a close combat, and this will probably grab the final shield from the opponent. It does do that, and that's fine with me. We've got 2 shields, but this Vigoroth does have a ton of energy loaded, so I'm probably going to have to use at least 1 shield to take out the Vigoroth. They go for the first Body Slam. We can let a second Body Slam go through as well. Absolutely fine with me, but they're going to make it to a third Body Slam before we make it to a charge move, so I will have to shield up the third one. The opponent swaps back into their Gramble, and unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to make it to the Hyper Beam in time, and it would have been a CMP tie, so there was no point throwing straight away. The opponent actually goes for a close combat there, so I have no idea how much I need to undercharge this Hyper Beam. We go for the undercharge. We do get at least 1 extra Thunder Shock through, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. We can now go for a Superpower into Vigoroth, and this Superpower takes out the Vigoroth, and they've got a Hypno in the back, but they will be able to fully Confusion farm me down. We make it to the Hyper Beam, but did we have a Moonblast banked on our Sylveon? No, not quite. They make it to an Elemental Punch, and Thunder Punch takes out the Sylveon, and we do unfortunately lose that game. But GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Umbreon in the lead, so great lead. The opponent swaps into Superior. We're going to respond with our Perrserker, let the first charge move go through. It is a Frenzy Plant, and even though it's resisted, a second Frenzy Plant will now be enough damage to take me out, which is really unfortunate. We're going to go for the close combat just before they make it to the next charge move, actually on the CMP tie, and I'm really hoping I can fully Shadow Claw farm them down, but they're only 5 away from the next charge move, so I have to throw my energy, which is really unfortunate, but foul play does take out the Superior. We do have a close combat loaded to throw into the Politoed that comes in, and this does grab a shield from the opponent, so we do at least grab the shield back, and we're going to come in with our Sylveon here, go straight for the Moonblast, hoping they let this go through. but the opponent does use their final shield. I swap out trying to catch a weather ball or potentially even a blizzard, but the opponent does go for that weather ball there before swapping back into their Umbreon. I'm now going to go for the superpower. We've got the back-to-back loaded already. The first one does big damage. The second one is actually going to be a CMP tie with this Umbreon. We do even more damage there, and unfortunately, we are going to be taken out by this foul play, but that's actually fine with me. I'm really hoping I can fully quick attack farm down this Umbreon from this range, but we do have to be wary as the Politoed does have a charge move loaded here. So can we get the farm down? No, not quite. The opponent does actually make it to a final last resort there, but they swap into the Politoed. We get the extra quick attack through. We can now go for the Moonblast, and from this range, up against this Shadow Politoed, we're able to take out the Politoed, make it to a Psyshock, and even though it's up against a Dark type, Psyshock does take out the Umbreon, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next battle, Shadow Dragonair in the lead, so great lead for us, but the opponent responds with a Ninetales, and this is not great for me. We've already seen Ninetales completely one-shot my Sylveon, so I've got to be wary of that overheat this time around, so I probably will shield this up. No, I'm actually going to call it. It's just a weather ball, which is really fortunate for me. I'm now going to shield up the next charge move, and I should be able to make it to 2 moves. No, I'm going to swap. I try to snipe with my Perrserker, but I'm not able to do so, which is so unfortunate. We have to use the final shield there, but we do get the farm down. We've got a loaded Sylveon and a loaded Perrserker. The opponent comes back in with the Shadow Dragonair. We make it to back-to-back close combats, and this first one grabs the shield. We make it to the second close combat, and this will do big damage if they let it through, which they do, and we Shadow Claw farm them down. They've got a shiny Shadow Muck in the back, and now it's time for Melmetal to come in here. Now they do have a shield remaining, but what's the chances that they're going to shield the first charge move coming from a Melmetal? I think it's pretty low here. They go for the Acid Spray, making sure Dark Pulse or Thunder Punch maybe will take me out here, but we go for the Hyper Beam, and we take out the Shadow Muck there with a shield remaining, and I'm able to take that game. So into the next battle, we see a Shadow Machamp in the lead. Great lead for the Sylveon. The opponent responds with Licky Tongue. I'm going to chip with a Psyshock here, and this will just allow me to come in with my Melmetal, and I'm only going to have to throw 1 superpower to take out this Licky Tongue after a few Thunder Shocks. Now they go for a Power Whip that does slightly more damage than a Body Slam, but typically you still want to go for that Body Slam as it is a lot more energy efficient, but here they're only going to get off 2 charge moves anyway, so maybe that was the right play. We go for the superpower, taking out the Licky Tongue. They come back in with Machamp. We don't make it to the Hyper Beam, which is really unfortunate, but superpower still grabs a shield from the Machamp, and now we can wait out the switch clock before coming in with the Sylveon. The opponent throws straight away. This is just going to be a cross chop, so an easy no shield for me. And the opponent staying in, they try to catch a move onto their Cofagrigus, but that's fine with me. We've got a great response in Perrserker. They go straight for the Shadow Ball there, so now I can overfarm, farming to nearly 100 energy, going for the foul play. This will easily take out the Cofagrigus. We've got a close combat loaded. This will be grabbing the final shield from the Shadow Machamp, and now all we have to do is go for a Psyshock, but instead I go for the Moonblast anyways. I know they're not at back-to-back charge moves, and Moonblast will easily one-shot the Shadow Machamp, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Cofagrigus in the lead, so not a great lead. I'm gonna swap into my Melmetal, and I really hope they swap out. They do swap out into a Vigoroth as well. I'm gonna farm to the back-to-back superpowers here and offload them straight away. The first one grabs a shield. The second one will not grab a shield, most likely, but it will do some nice, super effective damage, and the opponent throws their energy as well, which is huge, and they full send the Bulldoze, so I think they should have just fully counter-farmed me down, but I'm very happy with that. We're now going to come in with the Sylveon, let the first charge move go through, going to commit to the quick attack farm down, but I do have to be wary. It's almost certainly a fighting type in the back, so I'm going to shield this up. They go for the Body Slam. We're going to go for that Moonblast straight away into the Cofagrigus coming back in, and then swap into Perrserker. And the opponent does have a fighting type. It's not the Shadow Machamp, so this is not quite the Human Catcher Bug team, but it's very close with a Primeape in the back, and they are unfortunately able to fully counter farm me down. We have to let this go through, hoping it's just a Night Slash. It is the Night Slash. We do live that, and now we can shield this up. I'm hoping we can bank back-to-back Psyshocks. but they get the boost, and now we don't quite get there in time. I have to go for the Side Shock, but I'm not going to be able to live one Shadow Claw. Not sure a Side Shock would have taken out the Cofagrigus anyway, so I think I probably would have lost that game, but unfortunately the boost meant that I couldn't even get off 2 Side Shocks. But GG's to that opponent. Into the next battle, once again Cofagrigus in the lead. This time they're staying in. This is really bad for me as they double resist everything. I'm going to go for a superpower here as I reach 100 energy. I just hope I grab a shield or something. And we do actually grab the shield there. And they throw their energy as well, not committing to the farm down. And that's probably the best case scenario considering I could not touch that Cofagrigus whatsoever. We're now going to come in with the Perrserker here. Go for a foul play straight away on the CMP tie with the Dark Pulse. And the opponent does just let it go down. And that's fine with me. Then I'll come in with the Umbreon. We're going to swap and catch the foul play onto my Sylveon, and this is going to do absolutely nothing. The opponent responds with a Seviper, but we're now going to make it to a Side Shock as they reach a Poison Fang. They choose not to throw. Instead, they're going to go for a full Poison Jab farm down, which does make a lot of sense. But I'm going to shield this up, hoping they do go for the crunch, and they do full send the crunch, and now I can go for a foul play. I don't know if this will be enough damage to take them out, but it does take out Seviper. Seviper is a very classy Pokemon, and now I should be able to just barely outpace them to the back-to-back close combats in time. So going to go for 1 Shadow Claw, throwing at the correct timing here. Close combat number 1 does big damage, and the second one will be enough damage from this range to easily take out the Umbreon. And I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Sylveon into another Umbreon. So another great lead. The opponent is staying in this matchup, which is fine with me. We've actually got 3 Pokemon that do pretty well up against Umbreon. So if you're really sick and tired of Umbreon, maybe try this team out. They swap into a Hypno. I'm going to go for the Moonblast here and then swap into my Perrserker. And I'm hoping that I can use 1 shield and then fully farm them down. But let's see. They go for the Fire Punch. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get that farm down in time. So I have to throw my energy here. This foul play will be taking them out. They actually use a shield wanting to get off the charge move. I will just about live a Fire Punch from this range. So I will choose to no shield it. We also come out with a close combat loaded. So I'm going to throw that straight away into the Umbreon that comes in. That does big damage as they do get the full Snarl farm down. Now, I'm actually going to come in with my Melmetal here, which is a bit of an interesting choice, trying to then catch the foul play onto my Sylveon, but they go for the Sidekick, and now they are going to CMP tie me here. We go for the Moonblast, and Moonblast does grab the final shield from the opponent. I'm pretty happy to let Sylveon go down. Foul play takes me out. We come back in with the Melmetal here, and I'm going to farm, throwing on the CMP tie with the next foul play. I don't want to use my shield here, so Superpower takes out the Umbreon, but they've got a Shadow Machamp in the back, and because I debuff my defense, I don't make it to the Hyper Beam, so a massive mistake on my end. Superpower doesn't take them out there, and I do unfortunately lose that game. So there were definitely multiple ways I could have won that game, but unfortunately I played it quite badly. But GG's to that opponent, and into the next battle, we see Registeel in the lead. Gonna swap into Perrserker, go straight for the close combat on the CMP tie with a Focus Blast, and we do land it, dealing big damage before they swap into Seviper. So I'm calling that they're probably running a double poison team, because there was no reason why you'd swap into a Seviper with a Steel type here in the lead. But they go for a crunch. They do get the debuff, but it doesn't really matter. We can go for another foul play, and then I'm going to try and catch the next charge move if they overfarm, but they don't. They go straight for the charge move here. This is perfectly fine with me. Crunch takes me out. We can now come in with the Melmetal here, and I am actually going to go for a Superpower, just making sure I get rid of this Seviper before they get off a crunch. We take them out there, and the opponent is going to come in with their Registeel. We can overfarm massively, go for a Superpower. This will be enough damage to take out the Registeel, and now they come in with a Muck. So what I'm going to do is count to 8, and then I will be swapping to catch the Dark Pulse on my Sylveon. And this is not just to catch a resisted charge move, but also to reset the debuff, making sure that Hyper Beam will now not be debuffed, and it should be enough damage from this range to take out the Muck, but it doesn't really matter. We get to the Side Shock, and this is going to do big damage to the Muck, and we could just go for a Superpower, but we're running Hyper Beam. We might as well full send it, and Hyper Beam takes out the Muck, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle, we see Sylveon into Shadow Donphan. So if you see Shadow Donphan in the lead, it's probably going to be Home Slice Henry's team with Donphan, Umbreon, and Muck in the back. So going to go and stay in this lead matchup. Obviously, we've got two Pokemon weak to the ground and to the fighting typing here, which, of course, Donphan does learn counter. We're going to shield up the Body Slam. They did farm to an Earthquake, so I did have to use a shield there. But we can now go for a Side Shock, and we are going to be able to make it to another Side Shock. I'm going to shield this up just to guarantee we get rid of the Donphan. And then I'm feeling pretty good about my backline up against this backline if it is the Home Slice Henry team. And they come in with a Muck, so I'm feeling pretty confident about this matchup. They do make it to a Dark Pulse. I'm going to let this go through. Of course, we got no shields remaining, but this is fine. I'm going to over farm here, going for that Hyper Beam, and this Hyper Beam is going to do massive damage to the Muck, and we actually Thunder Shock, farm them down. We come out with a superpower loaded. We can now go for the back-to-back superpowers into this Umbreon. The first one gonna do big damage here. We go for one extra Thunder Shock just before they make it to the foul play, dealing less damage this time around, but still a lot of damage. We swap into Perrserker, and the opponent just concedes the match there. So GG's to that opponent into the final battle, and a quick disclaimer, these battles were done at like 2 AM. I was really tired, but we're going to swap here after banking a bit of energy. I have to shield this up. It could be a Focus Blast. The opponent does full send the Focus Blast there, so good shield usage there, as that would have easily one-shot my Perrserker. We're going to go for a close combat, grabbing a shield from the opponent, and they do just barely make it to the next charge move. If they do bait me, I think I still would make it to the back-to-back close combats, but they full sent it there, so we can go for the close combat with number 1, grabbing the shield, and I'm not messing around here. I'm just going to go straight for that close combat. Honestly, quad debuffed a Stone Edge probably takes us out, but they come back in with their double. They do make it to a charge move, and even resisted Body Slam easily takes me out from this range. We come in with the Sylveon. We're going to go for a Side Shock here, and this should be game over for my opponent. That does big damage to the Muck. We can come in with our Melmetal, and it's a bit of an awkward situation here because they go for a Dark Pulse. I don't really want to go for the Hyper Beam, so I'm going to go for a Superpower, but this is still going to be absolutely fine. We take out the Muck with the Superpower. I overfarm massively, and I lost track of their energy. They're already at a Body Slam. We had 2 Superpowers loaded. We didn't throw either of them, and now a Moonblast is not going to be enough damage to take out this double. I'm not sure if 2 Side Shocks is going to do more damage, but I think that's my only play here. So we go for the first one here. That's not going to do enough damage, and I go for a second Side Shock. I really hope this puts them into range where I can farm them down, but they've got the Body Slam loaded, so I just absolutely threw this game away. I don't know what I was thinking, but GG's to my opponent there. So that's going to be it for today's video. Obviously, a really poorly played final battle, but I was really tired. I just wasn't thinking straight, and it does happen sometimes. But if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. I kind of forgot to mention throughout the video, but I actually went really positive with this team. I guess since it's not quite as spicy as some of my other teams, it's a bit easier to sort of maneuver up against the meta. But yeah, if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.